It's time to kick off the first game of the 3v3 league, and it's between Team Seljeåsen and the Woolly Pigs. They are playing on Runestones. Forgive me for forgetting to check whose home map that was to begin. And they're talking in Norwegian here, which is fine in-game. Both teams have Norwegian players exclusively for these two teams. So it is Runestones, it's an Arabia-like map, basically. And yeah, we'll see what they bring us for this one. They have been drafting civilizations, which means we will not be seeing any mirrors. It's a very simple draft. You just pick 3 civs total. No bans, no extra picks, just pick per map. 3 civilizations. So King David is playing as the Byzantine's pocket here, isn't he? It's forgive me for the colors here. It's a bit confusing not to see team colors. Not a big deal. I could switch them if need be. And but for the time being, I'll keep it as is, since that's why they they chose them. Hello, Mojozotso. Mojozotso. All right, yeah, Byzantine's pocket. Interesting pocket civilization, if you ask me. They have all the counters. They are a great defensive civilization, but they're not frequently picked as pocket because they are lacking the bloodlines for the cavalry. And but of course, if you get your castles up, you get your unique out mass Byzantines cataphracts. That's very few think that can actually stop that. Maybe except for mass arbalists. All right, to the side here we have Harald or Harold. I think I'll say Harald because it's a Norwegian team. Playing as the Malians on the flank. Also, not the most commonly seen flank, but that just means we might see some off-meta play and not your standard mass scouts and archers, maybe. So Malians, fantastic infantry, because their infantry get +1 pierce armor per age, starting in the feudal age. So you have very, very tanky swordsman line units that don't easily die to ranged fire. Finally, Øyvind with the Mongols appear on the left side. Mongols collect hunt more quickly. Actually, he didn't take the boars yet, but eventually he'll probably get around to it. So as he lures the boars and start collecting boar meat, that is going to collect 40% more quickly. Hello, Bluegill. As for the Woolly Pigs, we have Hufsa in the pocket, Japanese here, already started seeding some farms here. Maybe these guys are, yeah, not well trained in the art of luring boar. They'll probably get around it. Japanese mills, or resource drop-off points, they cost 50% less, or 50 wood less if you will, so it's easier to afford. Are you casting more sets today? I am casting the first division live set of the King Boo's team. Hopefully they are playing at, yeah, in just above 1 hour. And hopefully a 6th division set as well. But yeah, live set later at 8:30 GMT, which should be in 1 hour 20 minutes. We spare the boar, okay, so it's vegan challenge and chila mancho. Gotcha. So Japanese pocket here. Interesting what Hufsa wants to do with that. Seeding farms already, as we've seen. Lovely placement of farms, though. Though a friendly advice, always, unless you're the Poles, seed the farms around the TC to begin with. Just much less vulnerable to raids when you can just hop from the farms right into the TC and defend. Oh, what's going on here? Olas with the Persians, and I haven't even introduced the Sids until we see action in the Dark Age here. And yeah, guess what? This is how many villagers? 8 villagers and 1 scout moving out unknowingly against Harald here. And they are going to drop a TC. Why do Persians do this? Because their town centers have twice the hit points. So essentially you should never win a town center war against no, you should never win a town center war against the Persians if you are a generic Sid, because yeah, they have twice the hit points. But here it comes, Olas right into the action here, barely even started collected the deer and boars and whatnot here, and just took 1 boar by the looks of it, but now just straight on for the TC drop at 9th minute here. Right onto the action, and Harald probably has, Harald probably has reason to panic right now. He's making a mill on the hunt, is not overly stressed out about this, does not commit to repairs. So, okay, all in all, I will kind of say it's a good reaction. Not to go for the repairs because you'll lose it anyway, just keep producing villagers, try not to freak out, and keep the economy rolling. Rebuild the TC later, town center later, and then just move your way up to the next stage. As you can see from the approach here, the woolly pigs, they are relatively far behind in the economy here, and that's of course a setback of playing the Persian strategy. You're stuck in the Dark Age for a long time, but presumably you keep the opponents in the Dark Age as well, so we won't be seeing any feudal age from the Malians here anytime soon either. Chilla Mancho with the Franks, by the way, might be planning some scouts play here, all on the way to the feudal age now. This could actually help out in denying a second town center drop of Olas here, eventually, but yeah, alright. Persian's flank performing the so-called Persian douche here. And down goes the Malian's TT. In the meantime, King David is walling off at home with the Byzantine buildings that have more HP as you move out through the ages. He does not want to get the Persian's TC in his face. He's going to keep the Persian's aggression should they move further onto the pocket away, and is also going to keep the scouts of Chila Bancho out. Since King David hasn't clicked up yet, looks like he's aiming for a sort of a fast castle style approach here. So the Persian, Frank's scout is out. Looks like Chila Mancho is Chila Macho, not Mancho. Chila Macho is going to get the scout here. Get the villager here. Oh, I'm messing up with the words, man. No, good save by King David. He keeps the villager alive, does not allow it to go down to the Frank's scout here. It has 54 HP, by the way, Frank's bonus, plus 20% hit points on the scouts. Cavalry units in general, but in feudal age it's only scouts anyway. Second TC drop is apparently just completed there. Wallace is only at yeah, it's at 23 villagers total. If you all know the players rank, take chariot rather. It's rank exclamation mark rank and the player's nickname after. But this is the lowest division, division 8, and the players are around or below 1000 1v1 elo. So, Malians made it to too much action here, too much to handle in the early game. It's great. Great with some nice early aggression and the not your classic on-meta style here. The Persian Malians have made it to the feudal age. And yeah, committing to some repairs here. It's fine. You don't need stone in the bank to repair TCs anymore. Why the douche? Yeah, it's a league. It's 2 games played, and then you get points for a win. So why not? You should ask. Not why the douche, why not? It's keeping the Malians busy for sure. Even if it's a douche move. Ha! So we have some Frank scouts moving out on King David here, and he's making the spearmen. They are cheaper for the Byzantines. Look at this tech chariot. It's Byzantine's pocket. Even though they get to draft any if they want, King David wanted to play Byzantines from the pocket spot. So shouldn't have any big issues defending against the scouts rush here. Might lose a villager or two. He's actually going for the scouts himself. And as the game moves on, the Byzantines have cheaper camels in the castlage as well. They don't get bloodlines, but they do get husbandry. So they will easily match the Frank speed, and since the camels are cheaper, you can make camels to deal with the Frank's knights. And since your camels are cheaper, you should be able to outmass the knights as well if your eco is on point. Didn't I see a new TC go up here? Yeah, Harald is over here. Harald. I'm gonna stop saying Harald, he's Norwegian, so Harald is securing some woodland and gold here with the new TC spot. While now being assisted by Chila Macho in the efforts here. So looking at the scores here, the Woolly Pigs, they are behind, but that's also because our Persian's friend has been staying in the Dark Age for a very much longer time. Yeah, camels are definitely faster than knights. That's the idea. It's supposed to be a counter to knights play, so of course they need to be able to catch up. So camels with husbandry have a movement rate of 1.54, while knights with husbandry have 1.49. Alright, scouts getting some value here. Let's have a look at the Eco KD. Wait, what? Who killed Chila Macho's villagers? What's happening here? What did I miss? Oh, sorry about that. Again, lots of action here in this 8th division game. One villager at least taken out by Chila Macho here, and in general good aggression here, keeping them on their tiptoes, the opponents. The former base of Harald has been claimed by Olas here to some extent, who is also going for gold here, maybe aiming for a castle age rather soon after reaching the feudal age here. King David with the Byzantine scouts now, but moving close to that Persian TC won't be able to do too much damage here. Topside here, even with the Mongols, seems rather untouched. Has somehow nice house foundations here, forming kind of a wall. Dropping the second town center, which also indirectly protects these farms. Nicely placed farms here, and 3 villages of stone indicates that long term here Øyvind wants to get to those almighty Mangudai, the unique unit of the Mongols. Cavalry archer unit with bonus damage against siege, and generally very easy to micro with its fast firing and movement rate. Alright, looks like the Frank Scouts are going down. Chila Macho at home is more or less full walled here, needs to cover this section as well, but keeping their aggression up means that you're going to be less of a subject to aggression in home base, so doesn't really need to stress those walls either. I see the blacksmith is up, could be an indication that the castle age is on the way here, and indeed it is, but the first player of the 2 pockets to get to the castle age is King David. Ooh, and King David with the Byzantine scouts here getting serious value on Olas' home base. Olas, yes, has the TC over here, but did have some exposed economy at home. And I think that means nice town, I'll take it, or something. I don't remember the 21. Raiding party, I don't remember. Hufsa with the skirmishers out, Japanese skirmishers, lots of them at that. That's really not going to do too much against the scouts. Scouts basically counter skirmishers because the skirmishers have minimum range. Stone walls as well to keep cavalry and melee aggression out. But yeah, as you can see, the skirms aren't doing very well against these scouts here. Most of them won't be getting to hit any targets here at all because the skirmishers have minimum range and the scouts have... they'll just exploit that and stay close so the skirmishers can't fire at them. That's 3 scouts taking out how many skirms? 8 skirms or something? Pretty bad news for Hufsa there, losing 8 units. Scrambling up the stone walls here. What you could do if you're in Hufsa's position here, you could also task the villagers to fight the scouts, but let's have a look at David's upgrades here. Easier said than done when the scouts have defense and attack upgrades in already. Now from David's side here we see knights in production and triple town centers as well, so he's expanding the economy, establishing a healthy economy to support whatever unit is going for long term here, while Harald has also stabilized and is massing up some archers here. Might want to add some siege as well to try and deal with the Persians TT here and just clean up what's supposed to be Harald's home base here, but I don't think it's fine. Ooh, tower for Olas. So I don't know if that's intended to be defensive or offensive, but I think the archers will put a stopper to that anyway. Olas is just everywhere, isn't he? He's up here with some villagers. Even now with the Mongols knights out, so not the Mangudai just yet. And looking at the overall stats here, it's a good population, both eco and military lead for Team Seljeåsen here, with the woolly pigs going a bit crazy with the Persian douche from the flank, admittedly delaying the Malians, but not doing as much damage as you'd want to. You can see the archers here, they've denied this tower as well. They can't go too close to the TC here, but I guess they could try and get some sneak hits in on the stray builders here. But King David is on top of things as well. He's raiding some exposed farmers here. Eco KD 13-0 for King David, so he's really been doing work with the scouts into knights here as the Byzantines. TC number 4 as well, big boomer, this guy. He's securing another woodline and consistently producing builders here, so that's nice to see. Of course, the idle TC time is somewhat high, but it doesn't really matter that much when you have multiple TCs producing. That means that even if some of them go idle, you'll still be producing builders. Even with the forward castle here now, is not going to allow Team Woolly Pigs to fully wall here. They're already thinking about long-term securing corners for trade here. Some sort of team walling in among each other, but stone seems to have run out for Hufsa here, so we'll have to resort to palisades to get the team walls up completely here. Also adding some rams. Where are they? Are they taking the long way over Chilla Macho here with the Franks Knights in pretty decent numbers here? Maybe it's time for King David to think about adding camels instead, because the Byzantines camels, they don't get bloodlines, so they are going to be at a hit points disadvantage against the Franks. A little bit of a run in here. Mongols with bloodlines. Similar stats to the Franks here, but outnumbered as we can see, so that's not great news for Øyvind here. Is also with slightly worse upgrades than the Franks Knights, so Chilla Macho is getting a good trade here. Very good fight against the Mongols Knights. Mongols also have access to camels, so you could definitely consider mixing in some camels here if you're the Mongols player. They're what camels will struggle against in a team game like this is if one of the flanks has gone for mass archers, but that's not quite the case right now, so you could definitely warrant a camel switch here. Oh, are these blocked? Are these trapped? Hate it when buildings do that when they're close to a gap in the woodline here. That's 3 knights that won't be going anywhere. And we already have trade rolling here for Hufsa, so not going to struggle for gold just yet. Hufsa here, they have the walls up as well, so if the wall, for example, up here, and maybe all the way to the edge of the map here for Chilla Macho, they have a decent trade route. It's a bit too early for trade though. I mean, you don't really need trade at this point in the game. There's still lots of gold to be mined from the standard gold deposits. What's going on here? Archer still alive for Harald. He's going to the castle age now. Did get delayed quite a bit by the offensives of the Olas with the Persians here. So Forward Castle did go up even here, has the opportunity of producing some Bangudai maybe and get some ranged units to raid with. Stonewall's going up here as well, but the Knights are in on the gold here, so Øyvind is going to take serious losses here. Has lost 11 villagers by now, is that 50 villagers? Does replenish them though, so as long as you recreate villagers, it's not a disaster to be raided like this, but of course this needs to be cleaned up. King David is at 4 TCs, but mainly booming. He did make the camels. He has the cheaper camels as the Byzantines, and he also has full upgrade, so he could consider joining in at his flank side, at Øyvind's side, and help clean up these knights before Øyvind takes too much losses here. Are we going to see another TC drop here? Oh, it's a castle from Harald and a castle from Olas, but Olas, he won't be able to complete that one. That is being denied by the Archambas, so good army attention here by Harald. Does see the attempted castle drop, but does not allow it to complete. It's a lot of builders building this castle though, and still claiming the main gold and a woodline of Harald here. Crossbow is in, so you could try to, at the very least, trade some villagers here. Maybe this castle actually doesn't complete, because Olas is about to well, will be completing his castle well ahead of Harald here, and Harald with the fletching in for the Persians player, the castle might be able to range these builders as well. Alright, let's see the camels here. Camels outnumbering the knights here. That's a good fight for the Byzantines player. So both players with the castles up here. Are we going to see Petard's War here? Are they going to try and plop down their castles through Petard's? Geppettos! Oh! Okay, those girls, they don't kill castles, but they're a nice raiding unit regardless. You could use them to snipe villagers with a high range melee attack at a distance. Pretty heavy stone investment here for Chila Macho. Let's have a look at the trade stats here, if we can see it in the overview here. 1 and 5 trade units. Can we see the trade profit as well? Maybe not. But yeah, they're definitely trading. And actually the KD is very much on the positive side for Chila Macho as well. That's probably because of the villager kills on Øyvind's economy. Some rams out for Harald. This could be contested by villagers from Wallace here, but then again you really can't, because there's a cover fire from the castle here. Maybe this castle dies to the rams, because there's not so much for Wallace to do about this. Other than use castle fire, maybe, but as long as more rams pop out here, I think Harald is going to take down this castle. Speaking of castles, a blue castle going up on the hill here to deny this gold spot of Øyvind. Not a disaster, because there's still gold to be taken inside home base. Stone walls all over the place as well, keeping the economy safe from raids for the time being. Down goes the castle, and Olas is approaching the point of defeat here. If he loses the town center as well, there's nothing to stop the crossbows and Geppettos from taking out Olas's villagers. And yeah, pops into the TC here, but the Geppettos can pop into the rams as well, so so they're not subject to fire from the TC. Oh, Persian cab archer hype. In the meantime, we see the Imperial Age on the way for King David here is close to population cap as well, 150 population total. We'll get access to Heavy Camel, Elite Cataphract. Where are the Cataphracts actually? Yeah, they're not really going anywhere right now. This is a great fight for the Franks player actually, outnumbering the Camels and Cataphracts here, but I guess King David has the economy to spend to replenish those numbers without any issues. Certainly has better economy than a Franks player, twice the villagers. And Olaf's poor guy is down to 20 villagers. Has some stone miners over here. He's relocating his 4 villagers back to his original home base, I think. There's the Imperial Age, and we have camels moving out again here. Heavy camel, is it coming? Plate barding, also an important one. Defense for the camels to chase the Franks Knights numbers here. But with Imperial Age in, it means that King David should be able to add some siege as well. For example, trebuchets from the castle. Harald is also going Imperial Age here. And I see chemistry could be that King David wants to go for bombard cannons as well. He has the forward siege workshop, so not trebs, but bombard cannons forward to have some mobility siege to deal with enemy defensive fortifications. So Chilamacho has a bit of a push going on here with the mangonels and knights here, but these mangonels can't go too far. Even has 2 castles up and is making the mangolai over here, making mangolai forward as well, really extending the army numbers here. You can see Team Seljeåsen almost has twice the military of the woolly pigs, and they have about 70 more villagers total as well. Mangolai are just slaying the siege units there, and with the castles up defensively, there's not too much the Frankish knights can do either. You'll just garrison the villagers to keep them safe, and then use Mangolai and castle firepower to focus down the units here. 18 villagers at minute 46 for Olas here. It's relocating safely within these stone walls here, but it doesn't look too pretty for the woolly pigs here, I have to say. Heavy camel is in for Team Seljeåsen. We're getting banking, maybe to sling some resources here for from King David, and are we gonna see maybe bombard cannons as well? Oh, they're also trading here for Team Seljeåsen. At least Harald is trading to extend that gold income a little bit. Heavy Camel trading, of course, very nicely against the Franks Castle Age Knights here. We're approaching minute 48, but the Woolly Pigs, they are slowly but steadily losing ground here. This forward castle on the hill is going down. Imperial Age halfway there for Øyvind as well, which means he could push through here with Mangolai and siege weapons as well, and push the Woolly Pigs further back here. It's 120 military almost to 29 here. And yeah, just establishing a solid military lead here for Team Seljeåsen. Olas is flaring over here. Dude, complete the walls! Help! Wall up here, I don't want to be raided away from the last 15 villagers I have here. Chilamacho makes it to the Imperial Age here, but only with 6 knights to benefit from that Imperial Age Cavalier and attack defense upgrades. Getting architecture here to benefit buildings, hit points furthermore. So the castles will be more tanky. Not sure how much architecture gives, but there's a percentage to the castle's hit points here. David says, now I missed the Persian Dursh. Yes, you did. I almost did as well. That got me off guard, but I did follow some of that juicy Dark Age action. So Team Seljeåsen, they are about 4,000 score ahead there. So if you're looking at the score and you're in the Woolly Pigs here, you have reason for concern. I don't always consider the score that relevant, but at this stage in the game, it is a pointer as to who is very much ahead here, which is Team Seljeåsen. Heavy camel for Malians. So all 3 teams here are heavy camels actually, so it's not easy to play cavalry against Team Seljeåsen here. So Chilamacho tries to dive for some of the trebuchets here, but They don't... Yeah, it's true, there are 2 strong cavalry sims here, so... guess it makes sense to have camels available to counter the cavalry, mass cavalry play. So a castle behind the walls here for Hufsa. The woolly pigs, they are stuck behind the walls and they're not entirely protected from raids either, because it's still open up north here. Elite Cataphract, sorry, on the way for King David as well, for the 4 Cataphracts out on the field. Yeah, but camels are a valid choice here. From the Byzantine's pocket. So, keep pushing here. Elite Skirmisher, proper reaction to the Mangudai play, I would have to say, and the Halberdiers as well. Japanese Halberdiers, they attack faster. But at this point in the game, the woolly pigs, they've been behind for so long. They have a teal player still at only 17 villagers, and in the castle age, yes, but without some serious sling and the reboom of a lifetime, the Persians are going to struggle quite a bit here. 53-minute wheelbarrow, yeah. Not ideal for the farming inco. Thanks for the follow. Fire EMT24. Well, Malians here with the camels, and as you can see from the stats here, it's 7+7 attack. That means that Farimba, the unique technology for the Malians camels, is in. So the Malians light cab camels, cavalier, they have +5 attack. That's why they also don't get the last attack upgrade, melee attack upgrade. Otherwise they would be crazy OP. Without that last attack upgrade, at least they are counterable still by mass helps and these sort of things. That's some hefty raids going on though, and the trade situation from Hufsa being the only one with trade here, that is going down. 19 builders still only for Olas here, so not a successful reboom in that regard. Yeah, it also makes the Gebetto less crazy OP, and the same with the Swordsman line. If you'd had 3 extra piece armor in the Imperial Age for your champions, the Malians, and did get that last attack upgrade as well, they would be... So many things with the Malians would be crazy if that was the... was the nice douche, they say. It's not censored in Norwegian, only in English. So the GG is called, and 1-0 for Team Seljeåsen here, as we'll be going into the other map next, which is Team Islands. Just going to have a look at the statistics before we do so. Yeah, so we could follow the technology, military technologies, for example, and see what's been happening throughout the game here. Lots of cavalry upgrades, heavy camel, halberdier, Byzantine supporting basically everything here, even bombard tower. King David was really preparing to push forward here with even at PopCap here to keep making bombard towers. $100 to 42 KD, Harald with 75-22, so we survived that douche nicely as well. This is Division 8, yes, there are 8 divisions total. Massive eco display here for King David. They were also got some relic gold and some sling at the Imperial Age, which is allowed, of course. Maybe that was one of the ideas behind Byzantines, actually, to get to the Imperial Age faster, to be to get into a good boom and then sling. Only 5 teams in the 8th division, correct, as well. And if you're interested in the 8 PM stats, here they are. Seems pretty similar between the players. Some slightly lower than others, but nothing too crazy about that. Let's find the second game. Team Islands. I think they switched up the colors a bit, but we'll just have to endure that. Red, grey and yellow for Team Seljeåsen, while the Woolly Pigs go with the standard team colors this time around, 1, 3 and 5. So this is Team Islands, so after a quick talk about the civilizations, I might fast forward it a little bit to yeah, because there's not really too many crazy things happening in the Dark Age on island maps. King David with the Portuguese here. Lots of bonuses applying to the Portuguese on water. Their warships are cheaper. The technology is researched faster, I believe, from the blacksmiths and stuff. And yeah, I know, but in team positions, of course, yes, but that's like in ranked, it's 2, 4, 6 and 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, for example. So it's typically the standardized locations for colors. So. Or even should technically be orange in that regard, or purple. But it doesn't matter. We can tell the difference. Portuguese giving the team free cartography from the very get-go, so you get to see what your teammates are up to without researching without building a market. Researching cartography, that doesn't happen anymore. Harold in the middle here with the Chinese. Chinese have cheaper technologies as it advances, and as they advance through the ages, and they also have cheaper demolition ships, so that could be one of the ideas behind the Chinese here, actually. Bracer also an imported technology for naval battles. If you don't have Bracer, you're going to seriously struggle with your warships in the Imperial Age, lacking range compared to the others. Øyvind with the Koreans here. Maybe we'll see turtle ships here. Maybe we'll see a landing with war wagons, you never know. You had to restart because of position lock. Yeah, it happens. I've been there, done that as well. As for the other team, Hufsa here with the Vikings, classic Team Islands pick for sure. Vikings get longboats in the Castle Age. They actually don't get fire ships in the Feudal Age, which can be an issue, but as we can see here, Hufsa is docking in the back. Lots of deep fish here to be taken, and is probably going to aim for the fast Castle Age approach here and get those longboats to claim the naval position. Chilamacho with the Persians again here, actually. It seems to be or the Persians on their team. He didn't guess it wasn't Chilamacho playing Persians the last time. Advantage of Persians on these maps involving water is that the town centers and docks produce 10, 15 and 20% faster as you progress through the Feudal Age onwards. So they're a decent naval ship, but they do lack Bracer, which is a setback if the game goes long to the Imperial Age and you try to keep fighting. Heavy levels with more hit points was literally the only reason we drafted Chinese, okay? Well, it happens. Could be useful. And finally, Olas with the Byzantines here. Byzantines on naval maps. Byzantines have faster firing fire galleys, 25% faster firing, so that's one reason to pick Byzantines. Also, they have access to fast fire ship, which is always useful to have in the Imperial Age. And speaking of Imperial Age, it's at a 50% discount for the Byzantines, so that's also an advantage. They don't have a typical eco bonus though, which can be a setback for the Byzantines to many other civilizations in terms of uptimes. But aside from that, they are a civilization that certainly benefits from some naval bonuses. So since this is Team Islands and I don't expect to see any Dark Age aggression, I'm going to toggle the fast forward a little bit here until we reach the Feudal Age. Because we'll probably be seeing some fighting for water here. I'll have to be on the lookout for some transport ships as well. Feudal Age now on the way for King David, but looking at the population, that almost looks like a fast castle. attempt to me, but we'll see if there's any army being produced here. Still no transport ships. The Woolly Pigs team up to the fuel age in about 50 seconds from now. And we see some front docks here from Olas and from Chila Macho to indicate that they will want to fight for water. No military production just yet. Are they going to go, or is anyone going to go for a landing here? No, David is making the galleys. So maybe it's a naval war. Second dock going up for the Persians here as well. Again, the Persian docks work more quickly. So that is coming in handy when massing up units to fight for water. But it's straight for the galleys for King David here. Is sniping or hitting the villagers docking here, but not in time to deny the dock. Could take out the scout if he wants to, but of course he'll rather want to try and find the fish and take out the fishing ships of the opponent. Galleys, they have bonus damage against ships in general. 8 bonus damage against ships. So they will take out fishing ships in like, yeah, relatively few shots. Especially when you get fletching in, but as you can see, even without fletching, it takes 2 volleys for 4 pirate galleys to take out fish. Now, Team Islands, this is one island for each team. You often see landing plays from 1 or 2 players in the early field age, like landing with scouts or landing with whatever. His demolition ships, or demolition raft rather, for King David. He's expecting some fire ships here from the Byzantines, and he is correct. Olas has been making at least 1 fire galley here just to keep the fishing ships safe, but more or less a straight castle age aside from that, which will unlock the war galley and hence the fire ship upgrade. So fire galleys, once they get close to the regular galleys, they will be eating them up quickly. They will be melting them, but with the regular galleys, they have the range advantage. And there they go. Misclick. I thought it was making fire rafts. Oh, that one. Yeah. Yeah, but that's fine. And there is the, speaking of fire galleys, there it is. See the players placing houses on the shoreline here. That's to provide some vision to tell whether there's any landing aggression going on. So you'll get you'll be able to spot on the mini-map if there's any enemy units nearby or landing by placing the houses like this. And as you get the town watch or maybe in town patrol, you'll get more vision as well. This moment I was glad for the demos instead of pirates. Yeah, makes sense. Have a look here. Oh, we have a transport. 5 villagers of Olas moving over here. He's in the castle age. Does he have stone for a castle? Nah, it's 6 villagers on stone, but it's missing 300 stone to drop a castle. Might still want to drop a range or a stable. Why not? Byzantines, camel rush maybe? Or knights, or whatever comes to mind here as the unit of choice. Anything will work because it will catch the opponent off guard. There's no land military here whatsoever. Maybe Øyvind is expecting it actually. He's placing a barracks here, so he'll be able to pop out some spearmen to react to the double stable Byzantines knights play here. No landing aggression from Team Seljeåsen as far as I can tell. They're just fighting on water for the time being. Our Koreans player just around the corner of Castle Age now. He's not on stone, so... Oh wait, no, never mind. He is on stone, but only 1 villager on stone, so Øyvind won't be dropping a castle just yet. hiding away the Knights production here, not showing them until there's a decent mass, and 5 builders landing, that's not insignificant here. Probably planning to drop a castle once the stone allows as well. And again with the early trade here, Harald is trading sooner rather than later here to boost that gold economy. So War Galley is in for King David here. He's been joined by Harald's fire ships as well. So the Team Seljeåsen assuming some nice positioning on water here, but in the meantime they're about to get a Byzantine's castle in their face, and this castle only, I guess technically once you get Pletching and Bodkin it will deny this gold as well, but right now it only denies part of Woodline. Hello Bartos, welcome. Nice little builder snipe on the shoreline there. Eco KD, nothing too crazy here, but Team Seljeåsen, they are more consistent with the villager and eco production, so they are establishing an eco lead over the woolly pigs again here. Galleys with their range with Bodkin Arene, War Galley, they have 8 range total, so they could to some extent be used to raid economy on land as well. I think I saw careening coming in there for King David. That's going to give the ships another Pierce armor. If that castle was like 4 tiles up and right, it would be nasty. Yes, then it would range the TC and the gold as well. So, well, I guess it was to hide it away here to cover the production on land and be able to add cataphracts to the raiding party here, which is currently the Byzantine Knights. Øyvind gets a castle up as well though, and will maybe be producing some war wagons. Is technically the only... Yeah, I could make spearmen as well. It's getting pikemen here. What you could also do against small numbers of knights is make a monastery and pop out some monks, then you can get conversions in and keep the raids away that way. Persian dogs, they take forever to kill here. Here comes careening and War Galley for Chilamacho as well. Good hit! You're not supposed to be able to hit War Galleys with with demolition ships, but there it goes. Right after War Galley kicks in, Chilamacho sends 2 demos in and gets a nice blow in on the red ships here. Elo range here is 1000 Elo and below, basically. I'd say 750 to 1000 Elo on average between the players. Alright, we have almost a Huang style play here with Siege and Knights, and yeah, not Huang style maybe, but two Mangonels pushing here. As Øyvind has gone into War Wagons for defense. That's going to take the War Wagon a while to deal with the siege weapons. It's not committing to repairs, so risk losing a Mangonel to TC Fire here maybe. But also keeps Øyvind occupied and idles a lot of the economy. Worker efficiency down to below 20% for Øyvind. A Chinese castle in the middle here as well. Pikeman from the Chinese, from Harald to help out as well, who is on 3 TCs on land as well as King David. So they're extending their economies, establishing a lead here. And the demolition ship only gets half a war galley here, so not nearly as efficient as it could be. The Persians get... we have transport in the planning here. We're gonna transport over some knights here, but it looks a bit nice. Persians get war galleys as well, so... Byzantine has been doing well with his eco. A catalyst which will be great. Well, we are going Imperial Age here at 36 villagers from Olas. And a second castle coming up. This is so crazy. 2 castles. You're going to be able to produce trebs and just pop out that castle. And if the eco gets extended eventually as well, you might be able to produce cataphracts out of the 2 castles. And then even pikemen are a threat when you get to fully upgrade the cataphracts. Nice, repairing the mangonel there, so the war wagon needs to back off. And since Øyvind's eco is being idle this match, he's lost 8 villagers as well. Producing war wagons consistently, that is not easy. King David joining him with some Portuguese knights here, and they will deal with the mangonel. But how about the forward villagers? They're scrambling back towards the castle. The castle gets kind of denied, but I mean, if you are able to save just one villager here and wall it in with a stone foundation or something, then you can have the villagers complete this castle regardless. Olas is doing the typical meme, not creating wills while killing wills. Hey, I do that too. There's nothing low legend about that. Good offense is the best defense, if you ask me. And Olas is doing that. 2 castles forward. That is no joke. But more impressively, Imperial Age at 31 villagers here. And resources... Yeah, actually allowing for 3 trebuchets in the queue. Nah, I don't know the meme. I don't know memes. I don't do memes. So not really. You'll notice that I never called castles stout castles. I labeled them unfinished. Oh, more demos! Bam! Yeah, I assume it might be a T90 meme. He's also the man behind the low elo legends. And what are we looking at here? The trebuchets out of 2 castles here. Really wants that castle out of the way, but without anything else than castles to protect trebs, there's a limit to how far you can go. Stone wall coming up, so I take that back. The trebs will actually be very well protected behind castle fire if these walls go up, and that Persian, oh sorry, Korean's castle will be going down as well. Yeah, I know the memed out castle, but I don't use it. I think it's strange to apply a name to any unfinished building to one player who happens to be one of the best in the world ever since the launch of the game. So I think it's just silly. That castle goes down. It's not even worth trying to repair it for Øyvind, who is at 42 villagers, but not in Imperial Age here. What happened to the knights and transports here? They are not comfortable transporting. Look at the Hufsa though. Hufsa has the longboats out now, has the... oh no, but doesn't have upgrades for the longboats. No fletching, no bodkin arrows, so the longboats only have 6 range. They could have a 6+2 range. So if they had the upgrades here, the longboats, they would be in a much greater spot, but they still fire fast, they still decent. War galleys have joined in as well, but King David with all the upgrades in here and the cover fire of his castle will be able to engage and win easily here, even against these Vikings army masses, because the Vikings are lacking crucial upgrades. So Harald isn't on water at all. He has the OP Chinese demolition ships if he wants to, but he's committing to land armies, and I think that's a proper call as well to help clean up the aggression of Olas here. Maybe deal with the castles, take out the trebuchets, and stop this landing aggression of Olas once and for all. Good defense, David, indeed. So Chukonu, they fire DC Bingley fast. They are subject to some castle aggression here as well. Even Camel joining in here to try and take out the rams will actually succeed in doing so. Pike siege push on the forward castle here, but I think maybe unless the trebs are able to snipe this ram, Harald should be able to take out at least 1 castle here, even if they're still in the castle age here and don't have access to trebs. King David, however, right around the castle of right around the Imperial Age here, did get Karak. That gives the ships even better stats here. I think it gives a little bit extra armor for the Portuguese. Portuguese really one of the go-to civilizations for Team Islands for sure. They have so many great bonuses applying to water. Any military unit costing gold costs 20% less for the Portuguese. So that's one to keep in mind. Imperial Age now for the Chinese as well, and Harald has 2 castles up, so with that Imperial Age kicking in, Harald will be able to get trebuchets out. He already has the armies on land to defend his trebuchets or siege weapons of choice. So eventually Olas's land aggression will be cleaned up here. So Hufsa now placing a castle in the front side here. Could be that Hufsa wants to get some more docks up here, and the reason for the castle is to defend any new docks going up on the front side here, to get those longboats out. But please, oh please, get the range upgrades! Archery range upgrades, they apply to ranged boats like the galleys and longboats as well. So, here it comes, he knows. Fletching is coming in, Bodkin Arrow will follow, and with the Imperial Age we'll see hopefully Bracer as well. And then the longboats will be really dangerous. The Vikings economy though, 49 builders only. And I guess King David, even though I missed it probably, King David had the armies around here at some point taking out the fish eco of the Vikings, so that's also why the eco unit count is rather low. Some war wagons out for Øyvind here. They're gonna deal with the cataphracts. Cataphracts are weak to ranged attacks after all. Ram will probably be taken out here somehow by the Trebs. You don't see that every day. But the Chukonu are closing in, and the castle that does only have fletching will also not really be able to range the Chukonu here. So they are able to take out some of these Trebs. In fact, the Rams and war wagons are tanking castle fire here, so the Chukonu can take out the trebuchets. So one castle dealt with, but Imperial Age is in for Harald here as well. And is it for... No, just Castle Age for now for Øyvind, who had to rebuild the TC. And is replenishing builders here. War wagons for the Koreans, but yeah, we hopefully see some trebuchets from Harald here, from one of these castles. In the meantime, we'll be seeing caravels. I was going to say bombard... Or cannon galleons, sorry, from King David. So if King David has chemistry, does he? He does indeed. He'll be able to add cannon galleons as well, and they could be used to take out, for example, this Vikings castle on land here. Fletching is in, no Bodkin Arrow though, but chemistry coming in for Hufsa, allowing Vikings to produce cannon galleons as well, and also giving ranged boats extra damage. Chemistry gives +1 range, +1 attack to range units, not range, but attack. Finally loading up some of these knights here. They're going to attempt a landing to get some raids in, and in fact Chilamasho has landed here with a forward siege workshop and a stable. So again, some raids that need to be dealt with here, but since Harald has this kind of investment on land and will be cleaning up the south here, Harald has the armies to deal with this kind of landing as well. As you can see, King David is also using some of the naval armies to obstruct the landing offenses here. He may not be able to spot the transport ships here. So some knights able to land here. What's the upgrade situation? Full upgrades for the Persians knights, but also only Castle Age, so nothing too crazy. Dennis in the chat! Did you get your new computer yet? Okay, I won, that's Dennis. Oh, longboats going down here. You have a new computer. Nice. So longboats are dying to... wait, caravels. That's kind of like the longboats kryptonite. Where are the caravels here? Here they are. Caravels, they shoot out to both ends. They are a good means to deal with ships. Finally found my Twitch passport. You can't play. Well, you have to sort that out then this somehow. Don't get that stupid Mac mouse that doesn't have any buttons. Just... You'll work it out somehow, even if it's a paid software. Maybe I'll have to sponsor your software, depending. So, King David is preparing for a potential stalemate here in long game. He's placing Praetorias. They take 20 pop space each, but they generate a lot of a trickle of resources. Yeah, not a lot, but a trickle of all resources for the Portuguese. So always handy on these maps with limited resources like wood that might run out and other stuff. Shame on you if you can't play. Yeah, I agree, Bartos. Nice. The elite cannon galleon is out now for King David here with the Portuguese. Looks like most of the land aggression has been dealt with. Trebuchet not able to take out the castle, but that's also partly because it's a Byzantine's castle. They are very tanky in the Byzantine buildings. When in the Imperial Age, the buildings have 40% more hit points. You can see that if you compare the barracks here. It's 1800 to 2940, almost 50% more, like 40% more hit points on the buildings for the Byzantines. So Team Seljeåsen, they are in clear domination on water here. King David is the only player really needing to be on the water at this point. As long as they've started a little bit of trade on water as well here, as we can see. Is he trading with the enemy dock? Ah! Oh, that's funny. Praetorius were to max pop fast in imp, but kind of turn out to be in the way of soldiers after a while. Yeah, you could always delete them again, if need be. How many trebs now? We have 5 trebuchets pushing the Byzantine's castle, and with no villagers here to repair for Olas, that castle is going down. We're at 48 minutes, and it's only a matter of time now before Team Seljeåsen can attempt a landing at the Woolly Pig's side and really apply aggression on home base of the Woolly Pigs as well. They are cleaning up the landings at quick pace here. The Persian landing is all but gone as well. And yeah, still gold left, as you can see on the map. Some nice full square farms here from King David, and more wagons now cleaning up the stables as well. Could get some help from the elite cannon galleons maybe. Castles this close to the shoreline, that's also just going to melt to the cannon galleons. So there's not... these aren't going to last long for the Woolly Pigs. All of the players are in the Imperial Age, so that's something. And we have fire galleys now back on the menu for Olas, which could mean that Olas is thinking about a fast fire ship switch here, but it's also losing HP on some of his docks here to some stray fire ships of Harald, so good use of the stray armies here as well. Yeah, so armies idling out a little bit here. These war wagons, Pukonu trebs, could be put to good use with a landing if you're... Yeah, this is like, there are some free spots to land for sure. The scouting on the enemy island is virtually non-existent because Team Seljeåsen haven't been landing at all. But they are controlling the water here now, so they are free to send transport ships over and just start applying aggression on the enemy side. Market going down here, so no more trade for Hufsa here, who has not 5 eco units. I assume that's the fishing ships from earlier on. The longboats just idling out for the time being. Fast fire ship for Chilamacho with the Persians. Makes sense for Persians. It doesn't make sense to go galleon anyway, if they even get it, because they don't get bracer. But fast fire ship for both Byzantines and Persians here. Could be a way back on the water for the Woolly Pigs. But overall, speaking here, it's twice the military for Team Seljeåsen, and it's 70 more villagers for, or 80 more eco units for Seljeåsen as well. So they are really putting up a show here, aiming for that 2-0. Aiming for the castles now. How many cannon galleons? 5 elite cannon galleons? Yeah, should be more than enough. Even if you commit to repairs here, there's not much you can do to save these buildings at this point. Oh, and here's the landing. That's a threatening amount of Shukonews here. How many transport over all these units? Yeah, all the armies transporting over to land now. Ironically enough, you could fit 6 trebuchets into a transport ship, but only 10 Shukonews. After this game, there was some juicy drama regarding slinging before him. King David sent 300 with 100 stone to Avon while in the castle age without checking if it was for TC. And it was sent seconds before the first TC of Avon went down, so it could have been an admin win. Yeah. Seems like that wouldn't have made too huge of a difference overall. I actually saw that in the stats without thinking about it. But I assume that those resources went down into the new TC of Avian anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Now, how do you deal with this army mass on land here? It's Shukonews and War Wagons. Elite Skirmishers, I actually should counter both of these units, but it's just the general mass is just ridiculous here. It's not Elite Shukoneu, not Elite War Wagons yet, but it's still pretty crazy in the combo. Fast fire ships. Now out on the field, and not few of those. If they somehow catch up with King David's naval armies, that could be a big concern for the red player. But you need to address the situation of land as well, of course, and that's easier said than done here with the mass of Shukoneus and War Wagons. Ola's taking heavy losses here. The Elite Skirm, good call by the Vikings player Hufsa, but it's just not going to work out. You need probably hundreds of Elite Skirms here to withstand this push. Shukoneus have rocketry. Yeah, so basically Chinese substitute of the chemistry or addition. Yeah, I guess it helps. Extra attack from rocketry. Anything goes, anything helps. New landing from Wallace over here. Stables going up. Gonna get some raids in again with the Byzantine armies here. And some resource deposits actually running out here. Look at these fast fire ships. They're getting some juicy trades over here now. But the eco situation, that's what worries me here for the Lulu Pigs. They don't necessarily have the resources to replenish armies as they lose them, and some of the fast fire ships are being used against war wagons here. That's suboptimal. Well, there is heavy demolition ship. Oh, bam! Yeah, some good demo hits. Yeah, something like that. I never researched rocketry in my life, so I wouldn't know. Almost 5,000 games, and I never researched rocketry with Chinese. $60 pop in Victorious. It shouldn't. Yeah, it should show somehow, but it shows in the total population, kind of, if you do the maps. Castle on the shoreline here for Avian. How's the land aggression going? Yeah, war wagons doing their thing over here. Longboats, elite longboats back on the peel, and cannon galleons trying to deal with the land armies. Not ideal. It's more of an anti-building unit, the cannon galleons. Now King David has made a landing as well. Is with some cavaliers forward and plans to go for archery ranges. Why don't you get rocketry? Because I hate Imperial Age and I end the games one way or the other before I reach the need of such technologies. And I usually play random civs, so I haven't played a lot of Chinese. Chinese get a chance to make demos. Yeah, not seeing any demos yet. Land situation seems in control here, as Olas has dropped a forward DC on the gold here, but that's going to be obstructed by a Korean's castle, so no issues there. Still the issue of the war wagons at the home island of the Woolly Pigs here. They're just forcing Olas to relocate here, and King David establishing more before... Oh, that's an ambitious castle. One villager castle in range of Chilamacho's castle. Oh, hand cannoneers. Makes sense. There were some pikes or something on the field earlier on. The elite cannon guns can actually reach this castle, so even if King David doesn't get to complete this very ambitious forward castle, GG is called. The Woolly Pigs, they realize they are behind in score by a factor of 5,000 here. It's a 2-0 for Team Seljeåsen. Well played, Gøy. Well played, fun, that means. So they enjoyed their games. I think the Woolly Pigs did as well, even if they lost. And cannon because of Arquebus. Fair enough. Ooh, Greek fire. Nice. Also applying to the Byzantines ships. Trade profit, 1800 gold for Harald and 1400 for Husa, so they did get some trade profit in for nice and early on in this game as well. Technology situation shows the uptimes being comparable here between the players. Quite similar approaches. A bit later cast latest for the Woolly Pigs. Not really a big deal though. The landing aggression did force Team Seljeåsen into a reaction on land. Imperial Age just past 1 hour for Øyvind, so finally made it there with the Koreans as well. And did help his team extend the aggression on land. We need to show the APM chart in the end, of course. Again, pretty similar here, with peaking at... how do we read this? Oh, there's the number. Yeah, just above 60 for our blue player. The fastest one, according to general APM. GG.